administration should commit itself
Apollo 11.
achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space.
This is like a virtual reality history lesson. So let us start the journey. So there's first of all, in 1969, when this happened, July 20th, 1969, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, I wasn't even born yet. And second of all, I have played this. Let's read this. In 1957, Soviet Russia launched Sputnik 1, the first man-made. In 1961, Russian Yuri Gagarin becomes the first man in space. For those 5 years, America was one step behind us in the space race. In 1962, American President John F. Kennedy raises the stakes by announcing America's intention to put a man on the moon. The following speech was delivered to the American people to support this endeavor. Of course, John F. Kennedy is one of my favorite presidents.
No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come.
Rice University Stadium, Houston, Texas, September 12, 1962.
50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. And now, if America's new spacecraft succeeds in reaching Venus, we will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait. But this city of Houston, this state of Texas, this country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves of the Industrial Revolution, the first waves of modern invention, and the first wave of nuclear power. And this generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win on the other side.
So of course we have the original recordings.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
So here we are at Apollo 11, and we're about to begin the VR experience. Of course, if you don't have experienced VR, you can get a little motion sickness from some games. Date 16 July 1969, Kennedy Space Center. And of course, what happened?
I think the momentous.
So we're going to launch Buzz Aldrin lunar module pilot.
Call about that particular day was the opportunity, while my two friends here were being put into the spacecraft, to stand alone by myself out there and look at the rocket and the quietness and see the sun come up and the waves rolling in and the evidence of the millions of people watching, but nothing specific, and just so quiet, and to realize that indeed such a contrast was going to take place, all the frantic activity preparing the rocket, but it was so quiet up there for me personally. And
I have to say,
we were going to be
it doesn't look very realistic. Of course, I've never been in Houston, but I mean, everything looks like the landscape looked like from Google Maps. As far as the humans, supposed to be humans here. Of course, the VR is in its early phase, so.
I thought we had a 90% chance of getting back safely to Earth on that flight, but only a 50-50 chance of making a successful landing on the first attempt. There's so many unknowns in that descending from lunar orbit down to the surface that had not been demonstrated yet by testing. It's a risk-reward equation, and you're able to accept a level of risk so long as it's commensurate with the reward that you will get by achieving the goal that you're after.
Of course, some of the humans here look a little bit silly, but I have to admire they've really done a great job creating this documentary VR experience. I think it's a nice thing to do when, if you like history, you could use VR to actually get back in time one way or the other to experience some events in history that took place.
All indications coming in to the control center at this time indicate we are go.
I have to remind you that the recordings are real. And here we see the minutes, 1 minute and 14 seconds to lift off. Of course, I haven't got the faintest idea what all the other. You can't do anything in this game. Just sit and relax and just kind of get a feel for it. How it was back in 1969, I don't know. And what those men did was, of course, the greatest achievement what a human being had ever done. First man on the moon. And as Kennedy said back in 1962, before this decade is out, 1960s that was, of course, he was hoping that mankind would get on the surface of the moon, which the Americans of course did. Some still denied. They say they are conspiracy theorists, think that the humans never landed on the moon, but that's kind of ridiculous.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we have a liftoff.
Engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear.
We got a roll program.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on proper heading. Plus 30 seconds.
We're leaving the Earth. We're about to hit
Altitude's 2 miles.
Oh, well, in Houston, you're good at 1 minute.
and we're pretty much in space.
Downrange at 1 mile, altitude 3, 4 miles now.
Soon.
Velocity 2,195 feet per second.
11 Houston, thrusters go. All engines, you're looking good. Hi, Roger. You're loud and clear, Houston.
Yeah, we'll leave the atmosphere.
Dynamic pressure now.
I'm talking.
11 Houston, your guidance is converged. You're looking good.
Set 8 miles downrange, 12 miles high. Velocity 4,000 feet per second.
Stand by for mode 1, Charlie. Mark, mode 1, Charlie. 1, Charlie.
Cliff Charlesworth taking a staging status.
This is Houston, you are go for staging. Tower's gone. Roger, tower.
This kind of a documentary game lasts for about an hour.
Engines out.
I'm on board, Shadow.
Of course, it did a longer time than that. And of course, here we see. I only wish I could have experienced like this. Imagine even to be the first man in space.
Be advised, the visual is go today.
Look at the pen floating in midair. Of course, it's animated.
Yeah, they finally gave me a window to look at.
And look at the planet of the Earth. Planet Earth. It's absolutely amazing. Of course, it's animated, but just think for a moment what those guys did back then. Earth orbit, mission time elapsed 2 hours and 45 minutes. First of all, when I played this the first time, I thought about the Universal logo. Looks like the Universal logo. Everything is animated. As I said. But this is as close as you can get to get to the moon without leaving the Earth as a human being. I think about the future. Maybe humans will be able to travel to the moon. Maybe have colonies on the moon surface. Rich people, perhaps only rich people. I don't know, but maybe. Maybe kind of take a trip to the moon would be, in the future, would be kind of a holiday.
I think certainly to go as far away as the moon and look back on the Earth certainly does affect your perspective. And then when you see it, tiny as your
Thumbnail.
held out in front of you at arm's length, that sort of gets your attention. Beautiful sight, tiny, pristine, blue and white, very fragile-looking object, shining like a beautiful little headlight out there in the black velvet of space. It does change your perspective. It makes you think that we have to take better care of this.
It's true. We've got to take care of the planet. I think it's very difficult for people to keep that in mind. They're constantly throwing away waste, polluting the atmosphere and so on. Certainly give you some insight of what this planet is all about. Human life.
Ignition. We confirm ignition and the thrust is go. Apollo 11, this is Houston at 1 minute. Trajectory and guidance look good and the stage is good. Apollo 11. We're showing velocity 35,570 feet per second. Apollo 11, this is Houston, around 3.5 minutes. You're still looking good. Your predicted cutoff is right on the nominal. Roger, Apollo 11, go. We're showing velocity 35,570 feet per second. Altitude 177 nautical miles.
Soon we will be able to see the moon from here.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are go at 5 minutes. Roger, Apollo 11, go.
There it is. The moon. And of course we're gonna see I'll take it like I have been playing this for I think it's actually very great. Imagine what you can do. Mission time elapsed 3 hours and 60 minutes. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, landed on the moon.
Our system's recommendation is arm both spiral buses, over. Okay, spiral B coming armed.
And of course this picture, I guess this picture is from a book or whatever. But that's the way it, of course this is just animated, but imagine VR in 20 years from now. This is as close as they're gonna get. So now they're gonna actually.
Okay, we got the Eagle in view.
We got an Eagle. They're gonna just moving forward. Thrusting.
10 meters.
Got 10 meters.
8 meters. 6. 5 meters.
Actually, you can take part of this thing. But I fail every time.
2 meters.
Kind of.
1 meter. And capture.
Just capture the damn thing.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. Radio check, over. Roger, we've got the high gain locked on now, I believe. Auto tracking now. Okay, you're coming in loud and clear, but Mike is just barely readable. How are you reading Mike? Loud and clear now, Mike, and we understand that you are docked. That's right. Houston, we're ready for LAM ejection. Roger, go for LAM ejection. Thank you.
My sister was 2 years old when this happened in 1969. So I can imagine what people, when they were watching television, when they put a man on the moon for the first time.
I thought it went pretty well, Houston, although I expect I used more gas than I've been using in the simulator. Except for using a little more gas, and I'd be interested in your numbers on that. Everything went nominally. This is Houston. Roger, we copy.
Huh. Now we're gonna go see another cutscene, of course. Mission time elapsed 4 days, 4 hours, and 10 minutes. I think we're going to the moon because it is in the nature of human being to face challenges. It's by the nature of the deep inner soul required to do these things, just as Solomon swim upstream. Neil Armstrong. Lunar orbit altitude 886.7 miles. Sorry for that, guys. Read a little bit. Yeah. I think it's a great, of course, the music. Without the music, this epic music, yeah, imagine just. I could imagine. Yeah, I have no words to describe it. I get a little bit emotional when I think about it, because I think what these guys have done. In the 1960s, of course, there was the Russians and the Americans. I don't think America is the greatest country of all. I think all countries in the world are great. Kind of a big ego to think that America is the greatest land of all, one nation under God, and so on. It's important to think that we all are so. We are so fragile on this small planet. We're so small. Imagine how insects are like. When you see an ant farm, whatever, that's like a tiny little life. That's how small we are. And I don't even know if there is a God out there, but I believe that. Yeah. Now, of course, you're.
Houston, we see you on the terrible, over.
I do believe you got thrusters on board that vehicle.
Of course, this is just a picture of the moon, I guess. They have used in this VR. We're about to land in the Sea of Tranquility or whatever. We're gonna hear those famous words. The Eagle has landed.
5 minutes to ignition. Gene Kranz getting
The run.
no-go for descent.
Just gonna see Neil Armstrong take his first steps down the ladder.
Okay, retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Self-com, go. Ginsey, go. Ecom, go.
Defcom.
Capcom, or go to continue PDI.
Capcom. I think it's absolutely amazing that I actually have found like evidence that there once was water on the moon on the moon. And if we are truly alone in the universe, I don't think that's right. we cannot be so selfish and think we are alone in the world. Because there's what we know so far, there's so many planets out of our solar system. So I don't think we are alone in the universe. I think we have planets that have life forms on it. Unfortunately, the moon isn't one of those planets. As soon as somebody demonstrates the art of flying, settlers from our species of man will not be lacking on the moon and Jupiter. Who would have believed that a huge ocean could be crossed more peacefully and safely than the narrow expanse of the Adriatic, the Baltic Sea, or the English Channel? Provided skip or sails adapt to the heavenly breezes, and there will be some who will not fear even that void of space. Didn't get to date 20 July 1969. Mission time lasts 4 days, 6 hours, 41 minutes. A mere 66 days after the Wright brothers and blah blah blah. Of course, we're about to land on the moon.
Eagle, we got you now. It's looking good. Over. Eagle, Houston, after yaw around angled S-band pitch -9er, yaw +18.
So I think it's very, I don't know, maybe it's accurate what the spacecraft look like. I don't know. I guess they have done a lot of, I mean, look at this, all these buttons. I don't even have a clue what these buttons do. And this is from the 60s. Sounds like there's something very seriously wrong.
Where go? Same type. Where go? 2,000 feet. 2,000 feet. Into the ag. 47 degrees. Roger. 47 degrees. Eagle looking great. Your go. Altitude 1,600. 1,400 feet. Still looking very good. Roger, 1202, we copy it. 35 degrees. 35 degrees, 750, coming down to 20.
You should have seen Neil Armstrong's lips moving.
21 down, 33 degrees.
So that's a nice touch to this.
100 feet down at 19. 540 feet down at 30, down at 15.
So he was immortalized. Goes down in history, everybody knows his name.
400 feet down at 9.
He will live forever.
Stay forward. 1050 feet down at 4.
Absolutely, of course I get a little bit emotion. Even though it's just virtual reality, I get a little lump in my throat, whatever you can call it.
On 1.5 down. 70.
Of course nobody can live on the moon, but this was a great achievement.
Happy shadow out there. 50 down at 2.5.
I don't think we are alone in the universe.
Altitude, velocity, light. 8.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. 160 feet. 6.5 down. 5.5 down. 9 forward.
Mission timer 102:44.
20 feet. 100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward, 5%.
Event timer 16 minutes.
Okay, 75 feet, that's looking good, down a half. 6 forward. 60 seconds. Lights on.
60 seconds.
Down 2.5. Forward. Forward.
2.5.
40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drift into the right a little. Down a half. 30 seconds.
Soon down. 30 seconds. Lunar contact.
Okay, engine stop. ATA at a descent.
Okay, we're down.
Post control, both auto descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 413 is in.
Wow.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Griffin,
The Eagle.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Those famous words.
Tranquility, we copy you on the ground.
Imagine the control room back in Houston. How they were cheering and applauding. It's a great. I like the idea about virtual reality, especially if you can make this date July 21st, 1969, time 2:55 UTC, location surface of the moon, astronaut Neil Armstrong. Of course, we hear those famous words back in 1969. Here we are. Same, like the same photographs from the television. It's supposed to be very accurate.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That's Neil Armstrong saying, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." I just thought about those words from Walter Cronkite.
I only go in small fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles. Yeah, this is Houston. We're copying. There seems to be no difficulty in moving around as we suspected. It's even perhaps easier than the simulations of 16G that we performed in various simulations on the ground. Absolutely no trouble to walk around.
Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind. I think that is what they left behind on the moon's surface. A little what should I say? A little black. I'm not so good in English, so hope you guys can understand me. As I usually say, I pretty much sucks in talking English. Yeah. I just want to share this video. It's already out there on YouTube, but this is my opinion of the... It lasts about an hour, this VR. Of course, here we can move a little bit around again. We are about...
The President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you.
Of course. Okay, we cannot move because we are playing the... enjoy the experience.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone.
Richard Nixon.
Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you... For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure they too join with us in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have
People are always, some conspiracy theorists always saying that the moon landing never took place. It was all done in a studio. But I think it's a lot of bullshit, because if people didn't build the rockets, what is the... Yeah, it's stupid to actually think about it. They're talking about... There is even a James Bond movie where you actually can see James Bond just shows up in the set and making his fake. But of course, so the sun is not reflecting some of the pictures. Critics that don't believe that we have landed, humans have landed on the moon, don't know enough about. Yeah, sorry. Let's listen to the audio. Okay, so we're already taking too much of your time, guys. So now they're going to leave.
Tranquility Base, Houston. Roger, go ahead. Roger, our guidance recommendation is pings, and you're cleared for takeoff. Roger, understand. We're number one on the runway. Roger.
Six, 5, 4. There it goes.
26, 36 feet per second up. 500 pitch over. Very smooth. Balance cut long. Very quiet ride. There's that one crater on there.
Heading for it.
1,000 feet high, 80 feet per second.
1,000 feet high.
Here you go, Houston. The request manual start override. Roger. 2,600 feet altitude. Eagle, Houston, you're looking good to us.
July 24th, 1969. 44 hours after leaving the lunar surface and at the speed of 36,000 feet per second, Apollo 11 hits Earth. Couldn't really... Of course, it's going to release. We're going to enter the atmosphere.
Houston, we got the service module going by.
Roger, thank you.
And it's rotating just like it should be. Thrusters are firing.
800 nautical miles high, velocity 33,000 feet per second. Houston, we'll have you for about 3-4 minutes through Redstone and then pick you up after blackout through Orion. Roger. Guidance reports Apollo 11 right down the middle of the corridor. 11 Houston, you're going over the hill there shortly. You're looking mighty fine to us. See you later.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
Apollo 11, Houston through Orion. Apollo 11, Houston, and the blind airboss has a visual contact. Apollo 11, Houston, standing by for your dipsy reading, over. Apollo 11, this is Hornet, over. Apollo 1, this is Apollo 11, reading the last core. Our position 1330, 16915. Aircraft reports visual with 3 full tubes. Condition of crew, over. Condition of crew, 3,500 feet on the way down. 11 is Hornet, copy. 11 Hornet, what's your splash down there, over? Okay, our splash down here is our latitude 1330,
It's amazing. And that was pretty much that. That's the whole VR experience of Apollo 11. And of course we're going to see some more stuff here. I think it's could be very, very good to have these in classrooms and so on, to learn about his history. Of course, it's a nice way to learn history. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and hope you had a fun time. Sorry for me showing the whole entire video. It's already out there on YouTube anyway, so this is just my opinion of it. I kind of like it. I kind of feel they haven't created they have created it very well, but it's in the early stages of VR right now, so we have to keep that in mind when we watch this. Nevertheless, they've done a great job to recreate what happened. I wasn't there, so I cannot say it, but I can see from the footage that they've done pretty much everything to create what happened. Music sounds a little bit like epic music from... Yeah, anyway guys, thank you for watching and have a nice day and stay safe.